welcome to the Common Dog Podcast. I'm Laura Donnell, and my guests are Sabrina and JB, my desk manager and my general manager. Today we are talking about myths and misconceptions. So that's going to be interesting. Lots of stuff to discuss with that. Our dog guests are actually my dogs today. We've got Eris, who's a boxer. She's a purebred. And like most boxers, she's so ugly, she's cute. Right? She's a good girl. Hi, sweetie. You want to come say hi? And then Rhea, who is in the bed playing with the tennis ball. That is my Belgian Malinois. We're going to talk a little bit about their breeds today with on topic myths and misconceptions. So, welcome. So, Eris is about 4.5. She'll be 5 here pretty soon. She is I think she's my 5th boxer. I happen to love the breed. It's very true what you read about them in that they are puppies until they drop. I mean, they're just always very, very on, always moving, always playful.
Goofy.
I love Eris immensely, but she is quite possibly the dumbest dog I've ever owned, boxer or not. Boxers aren't known for their, innate
quick
intelligence.
wits.
Yeah, they're a wonderful breed, and they're sloppy, and they're funny, and they're sweet, and they're cuddly, and they're wiggly, and they're wonderful. But they're not winning any awards for being intelligent. So, but she's a good dog. She's well trained. Does what most boxers do, where she plays in spurts, and then she lays down and has a nice long nap. So, yeah. And my other dog here is Rhea. She is a Belgian Malinois, and she's very true to form in terms of her breed as well. She is a fur missile. Energy never stops. She's very, very intelligent. Like so many mouths, she's too smart for her own good. She's going to be 6, believe it or not. She's already got a little gray coming in her muzzle.
She kind of had it
she had it
3.
early.
I feel like she had it at 3.
Yeah. So she's beautiful. She's, basically in terms of her coloring and size is pretty much straight for the breed for a female. The males are typically a good 20 pounds heavier. Same with boxers. The males are typically a good 20, 25 pounds heavier. Belgian Malinois are like a short-haired German Shepherd.
That did a bump of cocaine.
Yeah. They've got a little more energy than your standard German Shepherd. The military and the police have switched over to more often using Mals because they're smaller, they're more agile, and they're better with the changes in temperature. They can definitely handle hot
and cold,
but definitely in the warmer temperatures, they're better than a big barrel-chested, more fur-laden German Shepherd. So
I've seen videos of them having complete obstacle courses of they're running through a bunch of bottles of water, empty bottles and stuff. Yep. And going through stuff hanging from a ceiling or something like that, and they have to get to their food that way.
Yep.
So
stuff that makes noise,
right?
Stuff
so they make them quote unquote bomb proof.
Yeah.
Right. So they can kind of go through.
They're
anything.
Originally a herding dog from Belgium. That's where they come from. There's 4 different types of Malinois, but she's your standard Belgian. Great dog. She's really sweet, but if she doesn't get worked consistently pretty much every day, she's a basket case. She's insane. She's climbing the walls. We have an 8-pound cat at home, Tangle. It's my son William's cat, but he's at school, so she's driving us all insane, this cat. But the cat really drives Rhea insane because she just can't quite figure out if she wants to kill it or play with it, or she's terrified of it. So when the cat decides she's had enough and she comes back at her, all 8 pounds of her, Rhea runs. She yelps and runs like a cartoon. Her feet can't get her going fast enough. It's It's actually quite funny.
She stays away from Lana too.
Yeah, you're Doxy.
Yeah. Lana will yell at her, and she's like, okay.
Well, when Lana comes to my house, Lana has privileges to the couch, right? So because
she can get away from
so she can get away from my crazy Mal. But
she'll growl at her
when she, especially when she's up on that couch. When Lana's up on that couch, Rhea will get too close, and Lana absolutely puts her in her place. Yeah. So she has extremely high prey drive, as is really common with the breed. So neither of my dogs can actually go in my daycare. But they both really do very well in our structured daycare program, which is, you know, more training based. We have enrichment daycare here, and we have structured daycare. And Rhea never even made it into the yard for a trial test. She didn't make it past the fence.
When she was 6 months old, I did have her in group with like a handful of dogs. But it was very quick that I was like, this is not gonna work.
And we've had other Malinois like
that have worked. Diesel's wonderful dog.
He's a huge Malinois too.
He's tall boy,
and he's fine with it. And then there's
we had Briggs for a little while.
Yep. And then is it Maggie? No.
Magpie,
Magpie.
She Maggie.
Yeah.
We call her Magpie.
I call her Magpie. I'm like, is it Maggie
she's
or
a Mal mix.
I love her, and she does well.
She's been doing really good too lately
in group.
Like,
so
not
it's
that she
not
ever
uncommon that they
bad, but she's been more social than she's been previously.
Yeah. So
but
it's
the
not common that they would do well in a group.
Right. The common misconception there would be a well-trained dog can go into group.
Right. I mean, this dog can walk on a tightrope, but she can't go in group. It doesn't make her a bad dog. She just can't go in group. Her energy is way too high. She brings too much negative attention to herself. And then there's the prey drive. So because we utilize temperament and size to determine what yard the dog would do the best in, we do have small dogs in with bigger dogs because of their temperament. Well, Freya doesn't care about their temperament. She just wants to go after the little white thing that's running. Yeah. So she can't go in group at all because of that. Her prey drive is way too high. But among other things, she's just, even if prey drive weren't an issue, there are so many other things that would prevent her from being a good candidate for daycare here anyway. And then Eris, why don't you come here? Eris, come here. Come on. Eris, come. Let's go. Come on. There you go.
Rhea, nobody asked you.
I know. The most jealous dog in the world. Rhea, down. Good. There's you go. There's you go. Yes. Oh, that's a good girl. Down.
She's like, how dare you, mother?
Stay. So Eris is an example of a dog that used to go in group, but then kind of aged out. Like her real sort of bully breeding, because boxers are a bully breeding. That kind of came out, and she was, sort of picking some fights here and there. So Sabrina and JB came to me, and they're like, "Yeah,
I think you were on vacation for that.
I don't think Eris can go in group anymore." Yeah, I'd been on vacation, and they were staying here, and you guys were sad. But
we are hyper critical of our own dogs.
Right.
So now I'm even at the point where I want to kick Lana out of group. She's driving me insane.
She's really barky.
She's barky.
And I'm worried she's going to make herself a target by barking.
Because
and have a dog go after her.
Minor kerfuffle happens, or two dogs disagree for a hot second, she has to trumpet bark towards them for some reason, which then sometimes can get the rest of the dogs going. Right. So I'm starting to see that happening more and more. And she's 9. Yeah. So most dogs get.
I can't believe she's 9.
I know, she's gonna be 10 in August.
Like a 9-year-old dog.
No, she plays still. She plays
like a crazy dog.
She's got her friends that she has, but she doesn't necessarily socialize with every dog.
Right.
Which that's again another common misconception.
But she's fine in the yard except for her overzealous
barking.
Which I do worry, because it seems to be becoming more of a problem, or I'm just getting less patient with it. I haven't quite figured that out.
Well, she's getting older. She cares less about everybody. Yeah. And then I made a mistake and let her up on the couch for a solid week because we were all sick.
Yeah.
And she was like,
I'm equal.
Now I can do whatever I want. because I have less rules, right?
Yeah.
So the minute I started, and it was like, this is crazy, real time, like exactly what I tell clients is going to happen happened with my own dog. And I was like, cool, awesome, great.
Right.
So, and that's, you know, another misconception is that all the dogs should be hyper social, right? When they're in group. That's not the case. Lana
And
is not that
socialization
dog
doesn't mean you have to be around a bunch of other dogs
all the time.
or ever, really. Socialization is more about at least being able to be in the presence of
Dogs.
that. Maybe they don't engage. Maybe they're on a leash and they can at least be walked by dogs. That's a form of socialization.
Coexistence is always the goal when we're dealing with like reactivity or anything like that.
Right.
And Lana is social. Oh my God, like she's picky and choosy with her friends.
Right.
She has her friends, but she's not hyper social with every single dog she meets.
Rhea is that way to some extent, but only for small stints. If we're hiking, she can be around 5-10 other dogs, all off leash. You know, some of them getting in her face. She's fine with it because there's a purpose, there's a goal, and that's all she's focused on. She is a dog that needs extreme structure, which is why she does great in structured daycare.
Right.
Eris doesn't really do great in anything because she's lazy. She's a lazy boxer.
She works depressed.
She works flat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say depressed, but
flat. She's just like,
flat.
why am I here?
Right. What am I doing? Where's, is there a cookie involved in this?
Boxers, historically, the ones that I've worked, they're like, what's in it for me? I feel like all the time. They're just like, I just want to go have fun.
So socialization doesn't mean X, right? It can mean multiple things. Resource guarding can refer to all kinds of things. They resource guard their owner. A lot of people always refer to, oh, my dog is protecting me. We always laugh, like, from what?
Yeah, you don't need protection.
You don't need protection, and you're not giving vibes that you need protection. The dog is owning you. They're resource guarding you because you are theirs, and they don't want anyone or anything near you because they own you. That's resource guarding. So it's not just food or water. It's not as simple as that. And there are a lot of dogs that don't have any issue with resource guarding.
Lana, I can't have a ball. She can't have a ball around other dogs.
She gets growly.
She'll growl at them.
Yeah. So the only thing these two will have words over, and believe it or not, it's Eris that has the final word when it comes down to it. Over a bone.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Rhea's
they'll
a
fight
chicken.
over a really wonderful bone.
Yeah.
Eris will, if she wants it, she will straight up put Rhea in her place. And
Rhea's
most people are shocked at that.
Lana, like when we dropped the kids off that one time, and Carl's like, my husband, he was like, he doesn't know anything about dogs. And Lana walks in and he's like, oh, you better watch out for that one. And me and you laugh. We're like, because he thought Rhea was going to beat Lana up. I'm like, no, that's not what's going to happen. Lana's going to beat her up.
Right. So
the size doesn't mean anything.
It really doesn't. Age often has some value in a relationship, but not always. You can have a younger dog that runs more of the show. It usually starts to happen when the older dog becomes very senior
and ill.
So you'll see a shift in dynamics if you have two or more dogs in your house. That hierarchy changes around them changes. So, but you have cats. Do you see, is there a cat that runs the show?
Oh, absolutely. It's my younger one.
Really?
Absolutely. So my tuxedo cat, Spirit. He's the first one to get to the food bowl whenever he hears the food being poured. He's the first one to come when he hears a faucet on. Whenever he changes the litter, he's the first one to hop in it and use it.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then my older cat, he's a Siamese. His name is Boots. He's, I want to say, like 13 pounds. He's a big cat.
How old is he?
He's 14.
14.
I want to say he's
pretty
between
senior.
12 and 14. He's an old cat. But my younger cat, he's 10. So there's not a huge age difference.
Yeah, he's not young.
Right. But he definitely has a lot more energy, and he's a lot smaller than my bigger cat.
More agile.
Yeah, so his build is different, so I think he has that in his favor.
Yeah.
But I definitely see that, especially if we bring out the toys with the bell on it. He's the first one. And Boots will turn his head, put his ears up, then he sees Spirit take care of it, and he's like, all right.
One of
my got it.
I'm not going to have any chance over there.
Fine.
Yeah.
One of my random hyperfixations lately has been the cat shows. You watch the cat shows?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched, look them up on TikTok. The guy is like, And I've learned like a lot about the cat breeds just from watching that, because I'd never owned a cat, that's not my forte.
Yeah.
But like listening to the different personalities, it's like dogs.
And when
Almost.
they show them too, cats are very
Stretchy.
flexible and stretchy.
They like
so
stretch them out like
come
this.
from here, and then they show them, and they stretch them out. It's incredible.
It's funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's funny to watch.
I've had cats forever, but I never gave them anywhere near as much attention in terms of paying attention to some sort of pack order with cats I mean, there are reasons why there are, breeds, obviously for looks, but also for, characteristics and purpose and so forth. But there are plenty of dogs out there who don't have anything seemingly to do with the breed that they are.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, just because it's a bully breed or just because
it's a golden retriever.
Right. These dogs, they're individuals.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we approach all dogs, as individuals. And we have seen plenty of breeds that are of dogs that are have nothing of the characteristics that are common in
their breed.
Their breed. So
I
love when people are like, oh well, Goldens, they're all such great family dogs and they're always so sweet.
They can be.
They can be. Yeah. So can any dog.
So can any dog. To be honest, Lana has never, and Dachshunds are huge. They are not good with kids.
Yeah.
And realistically, what it is the kids are not good with the dog. So then the dog then has to defend itself. Is usually what happens.
Right.
My kids know the rules. Lana has her crate. I've talked about the crate numerous times. She can go in the crate and escape from the kids. It's a very clear boundary, but she's never ever growled, lifted her teeth, or lifted her lips, showed her teeth, nothing with the kids.
Yeah.
The problem I have with her is she won't move. Like, she's being bothered.
I'm 300 pounds. I'm not moving.
She's like, she's not.
But that's typical Lana.
Yeah, you can tell she's bothered, and she just sits there and like takes it or whatever. But, but yeah, like, golden retrievers, I've constantly talked to when I have a puppy golden, a puppy lab, a puppy golden doodle or labradoodle. When they come in for a lesson, I will be like, so I have this thing that I call golden syndrome, where everybody who sees a golden retriever puppy goes, oh my god, look at the cute dog,
so cute.
And they like maul them to death,
face.
And then the dog just learns that people just do whatever they want,
and
right?
there's no structure or safety to meeting them,
right? And there's, even if they growl, they're like, oh my god, look at him, he's so cute, growling.
Oh, he's talking.
Do you think he thinks he's mean?
Yeah.
Which, now the dog knows that growling doesn't work, so now I have to amp up.
Right.
So there's I've seen quite a few human aggressive golden retrievers because of that.
Well, we
we
believe it. I mean, it could be all kinds of different things, but to assume that a specific breed is always this way, like whether you're talking about a specific breed being always aggressive or a specific breed being always sweet, you'll be wrong a lot.
Dogs have proven me wrong so many
They're
times.
individuals.
So what do you guys think is the most common misconception out of, let's say, an owner who has a brand new puppy, they've never had a dog before? What's the number one thing that you hear?
That's a good question.
Well, I would say it taps into that breed thing. Oh, it's we got him. We got a golden because we're going to have children, and they're really good family dogs. It's usually based on
labs, goldens, like those like family oriented breeds.
Right.
Yeah.
They get that dog, they get that breed because they have plans to have children in that dog's life.
Right.
I would tell you it is much easier to have the kids first and then bring the dog into the mix.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
It is harder to have the dog. I'm assuming. I mean, I'm going off of having Skylar before Lana.
Yep.
Was easier.
Yep.
Than having Carl after Lana.
Yep.
Lana was freaked out by him for a little while. Yep. Not long, but a little while. Now she loves babies. Like when you had Gabe over,
or you may end up with a dog that just loves your baby.
Yeah.
Not all babies.
But it turned into, because I did constant positive conditioning with her with Carl in the beginning. She loved Gabe. She loved my nephew.
Well, you desensitized her to these little beasts.
She wants to lick them all.
That make noise and flail around and have quirky, weird movements and make lots of noise. And
Yeah.
Smell weird.
I think another one too is it's actually not even a breed specific thing. It's a rescue specific thing. It's they were abused.
They were abused.
They
Yeah,
were
we hear it
abused.
all the time.
And there are definitely dogs out there that get abused.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we find that when you have dogs that are coming from the south or the islands
right,
and stuff, they're generational street dogs.
Yeah.
So the dogs that survive are the ones that fight or flight.
Right.
Right. And they have that then bred into them. Whereas when you have a breeder, they're breeding in softer qualities.
So in any case, a common misconception with rescues is that they've all been abused, which some certainly have.
It's always a man with a hat.
Yeah, with hat, sunglasses, beard.
Man with a hat and a beard.
I mean,
and it's just because men are, for dogs, they have a booming voice. They're tall, all the things.
And their face is covered, right? If you can't see them, dogs look to your face to see whether you're happy or sad, right? So
if they can't read you,
then it's scary.
Then it's
the
threat.
Same reason we feel threatened by a man in a big coat and hat and sunglasses and a big beard in a dark walkway. We're avoiding that as well. So, but I had a boxer who, at about the age of year one, maybe a year and a half, 14 months, 16 months even, she just decided anything over her head was terrifying. So if you tried to touch her on the head, like so many people do when they approach a dog, which we'll talk about why you shouldn't do that, but she would hit the deck. I mean, she would absolutely hit the deck like she had been severely beaten about the head and shoulders. Now, this dog had never been hit a day in her entire life. I'd known her since she was 5 weeks, adopted her at 8 weeks, took her home at 8 or 9 weeks, and nobody ever hit her, ever. But it became that. So people would go to greet her, and of course they'd go to put their hand on top of her head. She'd hit the deck and be like, "Oh, poor girl, were you abused?" I'm like, no. So, again, a big common misconception. Just because a dog acts a certain way doesn't mean you know their history.
Right.
And as trainers, we work very hard to work the dog that's in front of us and not try to guess 6 ways to Sunday as to what might have formed this dog. If we know, great. More information definitely helps us out. But trying to set parameters on how to train and handle this dog based on a whole lot of guesses because the dog behaves this way or that way is going to it's going to mess with your training.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're not going to focus on what's in front of you.
Right. So
Lana's terrified of water bottles.
Right, and because
for
I know
no
you
reason.
chuck them at her all the time.
Oh, all the time. But the one day I was like, "What is wrong with you?" She wouldn't go lay down in her bed, and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" One of the kids put one of the water bottles in her bed. just because, just kids being kids, like put a water bottle, like it's a plastic water bottle. She's terrified of them, and I to this day I have no idea why. Right. Not a clue. I think it's the noise, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's weird. She's just afraid of. Realistically, and I tell this all the time, your dog is afraid of something because it doesn't know if it's going to kill them or not.
Right.
Like, that's realistically what it is.
Apparently the cat will very well kill Rhea.
Nothing could have ever happened to them, right? Nothing could have ever happened to them, but they don't know what it is, so they have to assume if it's a risk for them.
More common misconceptions, doodles.
Oh gosh,
there are so many myths and just flat out wrong ideas and beliefs on doodles.
Yeah. So I hear a lot of the time that they're a designer breed, and they're actually not even purebred. They are a mix between I guess it depends, but definitely a poodle. And then you get your Labradors. They throw Goldens in there. So anything with oodle,
Bernedoodle.
We got a lot of Bernedoodle.
Anything with oodle is definitely not purebred.
Yeah, mind you, we love all the doodles that come here.
Oh my gosh,
they're wonderful.
Such lovely dogs,
and they're smart. Poodles are smart.
Poodles are smart.
So if you have a oodle, it's most likely a smart dog.
Yeah.
Genetically speaking, it's more inclined to be bright.
Yeah.
Which can make him more difficult to deal with because
Yeah.
they're thinking of ways
Their
around what you're trying to make them do.
Their coats too. Like
Yeah.
their coats can be really different, right?
Yep, especially depending on what they're
What they're
mixed
bred
with.
with, yeah.
Their coats can be really thin. They can definitely have double coats. They can be really thick, but they're so high maintenance. Whether you have a Bernedoodle or you have a Labradoodle, they're two super different coats, but they're so high maintenance.
Right.
The Bernedoodles have very thick, coarse coats that often are really thick and have to be maintained, or they're going
Like
to
brushed on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, yeah. Especially if they come to daycare.
So there's all kinds of different breeds mixed with them, but they're also all different sizes, no
Yeah.
matter what they are bred with. You know, just because it's a Bernedoodle doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be huge if it's mixed with a smaller poodle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like there's misinformation too a lot of the times about how to maintain that dog. Like, oh, you don't need to groom it until it's like 6 months old, or you don't need to.
Or they're allergy free. They're
allergy free,
Yeah.
which is that's not how genetics
real
work.
either.
Yeah, there's no such
I mean, I'm
thing
not a
as
scientist, but I can at least remember basics.
Did you stay at a Holiday Inn Express?
I did. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you have a dog that is not hypoallergenic and a dog who is hypoallergenic and you mix the two, there's a chance that they might be hypo. There's a chance that they're not. So it's just, you know, depending on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's trending. Like they're very trendy right now.
Right.
Noodles.
Right.
And they're very
well,
cute.
working the desk, you have the responsibility of running all the dogs back one at a time, and they're on a leash.
Yep. So
I want to talk just briefly about as someone who's just starting to focus on training, your experience with dogs, harness versus collar. And I'm just throwing this out there because we haven't really gone over a whole lot as training the differences between a dog on a harness and a dog on a collar. So from the outside in, I'm looking for your experience on the differences that you've personally experienced.
So I will say there are dogs who can walk great on both. There are. But when you have a dog who's really excited and you can't get them to engage and they know that they're going to the funnest place they've ever been, that's their one goal. When they're on a harness and they're a big dog and they have a really wide chest and they're just pulling, I'm 4'11", I'm a small girl. I will just float behind them because they are just pulling me if they have a harness on. But if they have a collar, I know enough. I've been doing this a decade. I know enough to be able to communicate to the dog through their neck and their collar. So I find that their harness it can be a lot harder if they have I'm not sure what they're called on their face.
Oh, a gentle leader.
A gentle leader. Those can be really hard when I have a really excited dog.
Yeah,
that's
they just pull you.
They just pull because they just want to go to daycare. They know where they are. It's the funnest place they've ever been. And yeah, I would say that harnesses or anything that isn't on their neck is probably the hardest thing.
Yeah,
I would say too. How about getting the harnesses on the dog versus?
Oh my gosh! So, but even getting them off too.
Yeah,
getting them off can be hard, especially when they're jumping around like a maniac.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they're coming here, they're very happy to get here. They're also very happy to go home at the end of the day. So trying to get, and some of these harnesses, I don't know if NASA made them or what, but they can be virtually
there's so many different versions, and we get a new version every 6
Some of them
months
have
or so.
magnets and strings, and and then some of these buckles. I mean, you have to be the Hulk to get the finger strength to undo some of these.
And when that magnet thing first came out, it's fairly new. I had no idea
how to work it.
And I probably was there with the dog for a few minutes, and the dog's looking at me like, "Hello, what are you doing?"
Right.
I mean,
yeah. What am I doing?
Think about like going like this, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to having to go over
maul the dog
like this. Like, look, she's like, what are you doing?
Right. And she loves you, and she's like, what are you doing?
And they might be experienced with putting their harness on and off, but with somebody that they maybe never met before, that can be really, really daunting.
Intimidating.
I mean, I've had people that I've talked out of using a harness just because of that. Like, your dog does not like when I'm over top of them for this extended period of time.
And manipulating their movements.
Having to move their feet.
Yeah. So lots of myths, lots of misconceptions. We'll definitely have another podcast about this because there's just so many. And we've touched, the tip of the iceberg. So many. But feel free to leave comments about things that you've heard about, or things that you're aware of personally in terms of with your own dog or your neighbor's dog. Feel free to drop those in the comments.
So I think our training tip of the day should be research your breed.
Yeah.
Research the breed that
what
you
do you have?
own.
Don't get an Australian Shepherd if you live in an apartment in Boston and have no yard or place for the dog to run.
Yeah, or have an outlet for that dog if you do. I mean, there are
Right.
places like look up what your breed does. Like for Donna, she's a scent hound, so
Right.
I do things that involve her using her nose. Her favorite game is
Or make sure you have a really great daycare facility close that you can utilize.
yeah.
Yeah.
For her, I'll take a huge like blanket, it's a queen size blanket, and I go like this, and I put it down flat, and I throw a bunch of food or like a tennis ball.
She goes
underneath
crazy
it.
for that.
She goes nuts. It keeps her going for like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and she is panting by the end of it, and she is having the time of her life. I actually told Ozzy's owners to do that, and she was like, she sent the video. She was like, "Oh my god, look at him! He's having the best day of his life." And I was like, "I told you, like because he's a dachshund mix, right? So he's a mix, but he still, encapsulates a lot of the dachshund type
Absolutely.
personality. So he was great for him. He really liked it. But like, you have a herding breed. The herding ball is great for those guys, right?
She's
Or
not really in
love
love
with
with
it.
her. She wants
But
it to
she
be
needs-
alive, and she wants to
but
be able to
she-
have it in
she
her
needs-
mouth
what
while
she
it
needs
screams.
is training, right? She needs to be worked.
Yep.
There are dogs out there that need to be worked. That you need that personal.
So if you don't have that amount of time to commit, that may not be the right breed for you.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, even though she's a boxer, she'll run forever.
Oh yeah.
So we get on our bicycles with the dogs, and they'll run 5-6 miles full
Yeah.
bore.
Lana will hike for like 1.5 2 miles.
These
and she
guys
doesn't
have
wanna
done,
go home.
10, 11 mile vertical hikes,
Mhm.
so, and it's also, figure out what your dog likes, right? What your
Yeah.
dog likes to do.
That would be. I do want to touch on that. One of the things that really really changed me was when I went to that seminar a while back with it was Nelson Hodges. He did an exercise that was like, just follow your dog, put yourself on the end of the leash, don't correct them, don't do nothing, obviously keep them out of danger,
Right.
but just follow your dog and see what they do. And I was a brand new trainer, and Lana was all of 9 months old. And what I learned from that is my dog literally just wants to have freaking fun. So why am I forcing this dog to be something she's not?
Right.
So I feel like a lot of people don't always know exactly their dog's full personality, or they're
Right.
not like.
It's not to
Which-
say you can't
yeah.
introduce cool new stuff to your
Right.
dog to see if they like it.
But when you know
But-
what your dog's thing is,
Right.
it's
If you're
so
trying to
much
make your
easier.
Malinois a lap dog, it's not going to work out.
Well,
Yeah.
she kind of is. She
Not
tries.
really.
She
I
tries.
try.
She does try.
And she's a lap dog for about 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
And then she's gone, chasing whatever the weird, scent or sound or light was. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for your time. We look forward to your comments, and we'll see you next week.